Right, welcome back to episode 3 of Rando's Racers. We're coming back from our first points finish after getting PA in Saudi Arabia in a very intense ending which saw a heartbreak for our teammate Oscar Piastri. So make sure to watch that before watching this video. But today we are going back to Australia, the first track on the calendar which changes this game with an extra long straight, and some of the turns have been changed to profiling, so it feels completely different to drive in the game. So we just see how that affects the gameplay. And also, it's going to be our teammate Oscar Piastri's home race, so hopefully he can make amends from the heartbreak in Saudi Arabia and get his first points finish of the season of his career and help our team move up in this constructors championship. But without further ado, let's get ready for quali in Aussie. Alright, we start our first lap of qualifying. We take turn 1 and 2 as we do they're the exact same as they were for us, but the second part of the lap that has the changes. I think these entire sections are completely the same as they were in the last game. Maybe wider entries. I'm not 100% sure. So I haven't found it too obvious anyway. There has been. Without going on to the extra long straight, there's no longer the chicane here. So this is all flat out. This is where the teams with the lower downforce are going to benefit. But we now come up to that very infamous high-speed chicane. Very hard to get it right, especially entry. And we go on to the gravel. We keep the car though, but that dampens our time, and we're down to P21. So we're going to definitely go out again, try and get ourselves out of Q1 and into Q2 again. Oscar's P16, but we start our second flying lap, and we know we have to improve. We already improved by 2/10 in the first two corners. Track evolution clearly evident here. We're not taking the turns as well as I felt we were in the first first run, but we're still improving due to the track evolution. We're taking some turns wider than I was wanting, just not getting the car planted as well as I thought I would. But we're 2/10 ahead of Albon, who's P18 really, so I get ahead of Albon to make it. We get a bit squarely. It's even though it's a straight, there's still some turning to do, and you can easily get them wrong. But we're gonna now have to try and make amends for this flat out chicane. We'll keep it within the track compounds. We don't go on to the gravel. We gain a bit of time, about half a second up. Let's go to the last part with the extra changes. I've been struggling with these kind of turns a lot. Very different to what they were in the last game. The entry and the exits hard to nail, but we're going to gain by 8/10, potentially 9/10. Try to put ourselves into Q2, cross the line. Is it enough to get into Q2? It is not. We are P17. We are right outside the bubble. But our teammate Oscar Piastri in his home race makes it to Q2. Both Astons, both Williams.
Raced here in Albert Park, and I think with the changes, it's going to be a classic. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, George Russell and Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Norris and Yuki Tsunoda, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Daniel Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri, Joe, the owner driver, Pierre Gasly and Valtteri Bottas, Stroll, Albon, Vettel and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. So as all the cars reform the grids, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
It's a Ferrari front row lockout. As lights out away we go, and Verstappen gets a better start than Carlos Sainz. He's going to be wheel to wheel with the Spaniard into turn where Leclerc gets a perfect start. He's definitely keeping the lead. It looks like potentially 3 wide. Verstappen gets Sainz into P2. But Sainz is going to fight this one back, wheel to wheel. Perez lost out to Russell at the start. Carlos Sainz going down the inside. Verstappen's going to make the outside go into the inside. He keeps P2, but he gets a bit squirrely. Sainz is still going to be with him. Russell looking to pick up the scraps as Sainz gets a bit squirrely. Russell's clearly got more pace than these two, but he can't find a spot to get past. Hamilton's looking at Perez also. Verstappen looks to be now ahead of Carlos Sainz, as Charles Leclerc has a 2-second lead. Carlos Sainz looking to get the inside into the fast chicane. This is going to be extremely close. Carlos Sainz looks like he's got the move into P2, back into P2 actually, but look at the gap Leclerc already has. My god, 2.2 seconds as George Russell's going to be looking at Max Verstappen. He goes a bit deep, and Perez is going to go back into P4. It's Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes. But Carlos Sainz is already 2.5 seconds behind his teammate. He's opened up the gap to Verstappen. This looks like it's going to be a walk in the park for Ferrari. A turn in a row for Charles Leclerc. We go onto our POV from earlier in the lap. We maintained P17. We're going to go look to go down the inside with Joe Granu, and we're going to get our teammate Oscar Piastri also. And we were still up into P50. We both on the mediums while those around us are on the softs. We're going to try to go around the outside of Lance Stroll, but there's no grip out there, especially with medium tires. But we've made up 2 spots on the opening lap, as there's a bunch of wheels actually happening in front of us. Vettel's looking to get us with the sauce in that Aston Martin. We're going to maintain the business. Schumacher gets a bit squirrely. We're going to go wheel to wheel with the young German now. He got a bit squirrely about one of the McLarens. Someone's blown up behind us. We're going to wheel to wheel with Schumacher the outside because the inside. But it's Oscar Piastri's engine who's gone. It is home Grand Prix. He's out on the 2nd lap. We skip now to lap 7. And just look at that gap the Ferraris have. But meanwhile, it's Red Bull on Red Bull. Perez chasing Verstappen, and behind it's Hamilton chasing his teammate Russell. They've opened a massive gap to the rest. It's clearly going to be the typical Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes battle that we're so used to. But what order is it going to be between the teammates? as Perez is going to have DRS on his teammate Max Verstappen through this straight after the fast chicane. And he's potentially... Verstappen's got deep, I think. Howell's got the move on Russell. I think Verstappen's got deep. He's got ahead. Going to replay here. And yes, Verstappen went deep. Maybe team orders. Maybe Christian thinks Perez has better pace. But Russell keeps the place on Lewis Hamilton. We will go back to our POV. We are getting hounded by Valtteri Bottas for P14. There's already been a massive gap open in front of us. We're just not having the pace today like we were having in Saudi. This track is just not suiting us. But again, some decent tyre wear, 7 laps in. Valtteri Bottas is going to look to make the move into the fast chicane. We can't find him back. We just don't have the grip and the speed at the moment. But what we will have is some DRS. I'm going to go down the inside. Bottas squeezes us. We almost lose it in the grass. Very tight squeeze as we're going to go down the inside of this very tight turn. Bottas is going to look to make the move again, but that's not a place where you make moves traditionally, as I think he's lost it a bit to Pierre Gasly. We're going to skip ahead to lap 10 as we go deep into turn 15. We almost spin it, have to save the car. Schumacher breezes by us, but he gets squirrely also. But we don't have DRS. He doesn't have DRS somehow. I don't know how that's worked. But Bottas does have DRS. It's going to be free wide into turn 1 potentially. And we're going to go around the outside of both of them. Schumacher squarely. Bottas, I think, has dropped back a bit. Going up to the out. Oh, plans being ruined today. Pain today. Alonso's engine's blown. And they were in a comfortable 7-8, the Alpines, which would have been great points for them. But we're now getting hounded by Pierre Gasly as he tries to get the inside, but we don't let him through. We keep the position, but Gasly's gonna have the DRS. I had to itch my nose. IRL, my nose is itching like hell. But Gasly's gonna go take the racing line. We're gonna try to take the inside. Squeezed by Gasly, but we keep P11 as well as a pity. Gasly's gonna try to go around the inside of turn 40, and he makes it. He's only bloody made it. We're behind Pierre Gasly, but we have the DRS. But he's already opened up a massive gap, and Schumacher's almost put in the wall by Albon, I think. So what's happened? But we've been told to box this lap. We're going to the opposite of Gasly though. Gasly goes in. We're going to stay out and perform the overcut on it. We have DRS for the next 2 DRS zones. And of course, with the cold tires, Gasly's going to be slow for the start of the lap. And we're going to try and get ahead of Norris. Going to avoid Norris. Jesus Christ, Lando. We had to cut the grass not to get T-boned by Lando Norris. He was not watching himself there. But we come into the pits now, hoping to have performed the overcut on Pierre Gasly. We get an auto pit stop. The pit crew have not been the best this season. We just get us a clean stop. And that is exactly what we got. We've got the clean pit stop. And we're going to come out of the pit lane. Are we ahead of Pierre Gasly? I think we are. We're ahead of Pierre Gasly, but the cold tires were barely up to stop the car. Look how cold they are in the low 70s. Pierre Gasly's tires are going to be warmed up. He's going to breeze by us. We're not going to have a chance to fight him into turn 3 as we just can't stop the car. There's no grip on the tires at the moment. We have just conceded all that work for nothing because these tires are so goddamn cold. But we're back to the Red Bull on Red Bull action. Look at those gaps the Ferraris have. Sainz is 6.5 seconds ahead of Sergio Perez. Leclerc is a 4.5 second on his teammate. It's going to be an easy 1-2 for the Scuderia today. But who's going to get the podium? It's looking like it's going to be one of the Red Bulls. They've dropped the Mercedes a bit, but Max Verstappen is going to be wanting that podium position. He knows he's in the title fight. He's second as it stands. He wants to be he knows he's the number 1 man at Red Bull. He has number 1 on his car for a reason. So he's not going to make the move into the chicane. Is he waiting for the DRS potentially? He has the DRS now. He's so much faster with DRS. He's going to take the outside line. Perez is going to fight him back, but Verstappen just has the grip and makes a beautiful move around the outside of his teammate. We're on lap 21 right now. We have both Alfa Romeos up our hole for P14. It's just not worked out today. Unless there's a catastrophic incident in front of us, we're not scoring. We're racing for pride as it stands. And we're in a 2-on-1 battle with the Alfa Romeos with Bottas up our hole. And Joe is right there also. Bottas essentially pushing us through these last couple of corners. He knows he can breeze by us with ease. The Alfa Romeo seems like the slightly faster car across the track, but he loses a bit. And this gives Joe and you a chance to overtake his teammate. We'll be fine. We're loving this. They're going to go wheel to wheel through turn 1. No team wars at Alfa Romeo. And I think they touched. Joe had a half spin. He had to save it. I think they touched. Rule 1 broken. But we go to lap 24. And Sainz has a problem. Look how much he's dropped from his teammate. He was 4.5 seconds behind Leclerc and 6.5 seconds ahead of the Red Bulls. And a couple laps, Max Verstappen is up his hole and he's 12 seconds behind his teammate. He has some issues with reliability issues. What's new? But Verstappen he doesn't need to be given a second invitation to make this move for P2. He knows this damage invitation while Red Bull play catch up to Ferrari at the moment. Leclerc is storming with his championship and he's going to go down the inside for the chicane. The inside becomes the outside for the sides. He shows them off. They've made contact. Is there damage for either one of them? I don't know. Verstappen has DRS though. He's going to breeze by. But Sainz looks like he's going to try and fight back. Whatever damage he has, it does seem to be engine related because he definitely has some engine speed. But Perez looks to make the move into turn 14. He can't make it. Going to go ahead to the next lap, and just like Max Verstappen, he's going to try and make the move into the chicane, but he's going to take the outside line, unlike Verstappen, hoping to reduce the chance of contact. Neither of them had damage, but Perez gets the move into the chicane. Double podium for Red Bull once again. Heartbreak for Sainz. He had second secured, but he's going to fight him back actually. He might be fighting Perez back. What is wrong with Sainz? I don't know, but lap 26 now, and it's George Russell. In the space of 3 laps, it looks like Carlos Sainz is going to drop from P2 to P5. It's gone horribly wrong. It looked to be Ferrari's first 1-2 of the season, but some issue with Sainz's car. I don't know what it is. It doesn't appear to be engine related because he definitely has some speed in that car. But Russell is going to go take the inside line. It's going to be once again into the chicane, a move on Carlos Sainz. He's beginning to hate the chicane. Russell goes down the inside, but Sainz is going to fight it back. Sainz forced him out. There's contact. Russell has lost his end plate. Hamilton is now here. Russell has damage. Don't know how Carlos Sainz is getting away with that. Twice he's shoved someone off the track in the chicane, and this time it's damage, but not for him. He's got away with it somehow. But Russell's probably going to have to pit with the end plate damage. And yes, he is. He's ruined his race, Carlos Sainz has. But now Lewis Hamilton is looking to avenge his teammates. Look, I just like Verstappen still lost 2.5 seconds to Leclerc in these couple laps after overtaking Sainz. Leclerc has just dominated this race. Like, just want to point that out. Lewis Hamilton, he's not going to be able to make the move into turn 3. There's a back marker of Alex Albon behind. Could they just be annoying, I guess? But Lewis Hamilton, is he going to make the move into this long ass chicane like so, not chicane, straight, the new straight like so many have before. It's going to be the 4th lap in a row when an overtake is going to be attempted on Carlos Sainz here. Hopefully he doesn't try to shove someone off to the gravel again. But Lewis Hamilton, he's going to take the inside line. He looks to have the move done already. But Sainz is going to find it back. Sainz breaks later. Sainz keeps the position. He looks a bit squarely. Hamilton's going to have DRS though, so this is going to be an easy move for Lewis Hamilton probably. Alex Albon is... I don't know why he's not backed off. Lewis Hamilton looks to make the move. Sainz once again! He almost spins Hamilton completely. How the stewards not getting involved? That's the 3rd time. Carlos Sainz is trying to spin around teammate, and Hamilton's getting annoyed now. He's barged into him. He's not playing the nice guy anymore. He's gonna barge Sainz out of the way to make the move, and he goes up into P4. Meanwhile, with us, we're being hounded by Bottas and Ricardo for P14, but Bottas and Ricardo going wheel to wheel. Bottas cuts the chicane. How would people not spawn? How many? Like, that was Bottas' fault, clearly. He cut the chicane. But we go on to not Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, who has just dominated this race. He's going to make it free from free and the sprint when he is commanding this championship. Ricardo gets out of the way to be lap. We're going to get out of the way to be lap, save some engine mileage, be the smart lad. But he takes the last turn one more time. We get out of his way. So Charles Leclerc can make it free from free and win the Australian Grand Prix. And look at that gap. Verstappen only making it to turn 14 by the time Leclerc wins the race. But Max Verstappen, he knows Red Bull's the second car at the moment. He's getting as much points as he can. He takes second, followed by Sergio Perez.
On the streets of Melbourne today then, and they've taken a fantastic win. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Leclerc is looking unstoppable. Free from free and the sprint. Verstappen, Perez, 2-3 for Red Bull. Hamilton keeps ahead of Sainz, who should have a bunch of penalties. Not gonna lie. Russell recovered to 7. Ocon got 6. Max, Tsunoda and Norris completed the points. It was a dud day for us. Oscar's engine blowing out on lap 2 on his home race. Really unfortunate. We just had no pace. We just couldn't catch it. We were able to defend, but we just couldn't catch those in front of us, unfortunately. So we're going to have to look into why that happened. But yeah, George Russell got the fastest lap also. But how was Carlos Sainz not going to punch a penalties? Like he shoved people off the track 3 times. And they weren't even debatable ones. But Leclerc has a 31-point lead. Verstappen moves to second in the championship. Perez overtakes Sainz, 31 points for Ferrari. Red Bull overtake Mercedes. We maintain P7.